Lair. Today's August 2nd, 2026. And I am actually excited for this for today's space. There's something I want to go over with you guys as far as what we dropped for a platform. So I just want to give a little bit of insight on that for today to give kind of the mindset behind what our ideology is and why I think that this is something that's going to be useful for us in the future. All right, 1 second. All right, so um, let me refresh that. Good morning. Welcome to the Lair. Today's August 2nd, 2026. Today, what I wanted to discuss was the recent platform that you've seen us drop for Mappexa. And also wanted to touch on some content creation feedback that I've seen recently on some comments on X. And I was actually happy to see this because it still shows that, right, that people care about creating content for Jirasan. And then it also shows us an opportunity for how we can help out and better, reward our actual core community that focus and still bring, shine the light on us as well. So, because that's also very important. Other than that, if you guys do have any questions for today, just feel free to either chat in the comment section, or you can DM me directly if it's something you don't want to ask for while we're on the space. So these spaces usually run anywhere maybe 25 to 45 minutes. And if you guys do have any topics that you guys, I said, want to talk about, like I said, feel free to drop that into the comment section for today. But all right, first things first, we dropped Mappexa, which, if you guys remember, the first few spaces that we've held, the focus point was on things that we thought were important that we wanted to focus on for the next, 6 to 12 months. And I think obviously, if you know our story at this point, right, if you're in here, you probably already do. You kind of known what our biggest hurdles were as far as a team goes. And this is not just for, the past year. This is for the past few years, right? Our biggest hurdle was networking. We were very, very strong at some point, and then right around 2024, it obviously became a little bit more difficult. Earning that respect from our peers. After token drop and everything in that sense. So since then, it's kind of been a struggle as far as getting in front of other teams, getting put into scenarios with early drops, etc. Some of that on the basis of a loss of trust, right? Which obviously we have to take ownership of. And the other part of that is also that we were flipping the house on everything, right? We weren't known as diamond handers when it came to like minting projects and things as in that nature, which obviously made it a little bit tough when it came to securing a lot of whitelist back in the day. And so this platform was something that on a smaller scale, we added on to Jirasan.io. But on a grander scale for this idea, right, is we know that information and data is key, right? And that is why projects like Facebook, Twitter, um, Snapchat, that's why all these projects do really well, right? Because they're able to sell data, they're able to sell ads, which companies are able to pick and choose where they put it because they have the information, the data for it that backs it up. So a lot of these marketing campaigns from these bigger companies are a lot more expensive because of the data and also directed where it's more beneficial for them as well, right? So the whole idea with Mappexa, and let me drop this into our chat. But the whole idea around this is to one, it's to get into a position where we can start to look at the landscape of Web3 overall on the first layer. Okay, so what's needed to sign into this platform is a smart contract. So you need, MetaMask wallet, whatever. There's a bunch of different companies you can sign up for, create a wallet. But that's the basis of it, right? So that tells us that anybody that signs up, that drops a location, at the bare minimum, have a smart wallet, um, which is where I think everything's going in the next 10 to 15 years. Businesses will obviously start taking crypto for some form of payment for services, et cetera. It's already like that in some cases. So it's only going to continue to get involved more with our everyday activities. So the good thing about this base layer is that it tells us that these people have some type of interest, um, either within crypto or within community development building. And one thing I've learned, especially for the past few years, is that you never really know who you're going to meet, and you don't really know what these people have as far as network, as far as investment opportunities, right? So this first layer was looked at as trying to funnel people who are at that point, right? So maybe you signed up for the Super Bowl uh, NFT that came out like a couple years ago. You scan this, you get an airdrop, something like that, right? Maybe it's just those people. Maybe it's somebody who heard about Bitcoin and Ethereum and they started a wallet 6 months ago, but they're you know a a coach at, I don't know, some high school or something like that, and their full time focus is youth development. Just things in that nature, right? So that breaks it down to layer one, and then we've added a couple features. Actually, hold on, let me drop this here so whoever's in here can actually take a listen, or actually take a look. All right, so I'm gonna drop this right into the comments section. Actually, I'm gonna drop it in the layer so that way I don't switch sound, because I know that's always an issue with me. All right, I'm gonna drop this right into the layer so you guys can take a look at it. So that's the first layer, right? We wanted to be able to funnel that. And once we had that, we then wanted to expand on this not just being a NFT community platform, but rather um your everyday kind of event platform, right? So somebody in Jirasan is running, for example, I'm gonna use CoinKong as an example, right? He obviously has he's got his own businesses, but he also does a food drive, which he does for his city, which is obviously amazing, right? Um, but him being on that platform, or him utilizing that platform, and he puts up that event, is going to obviously, one, bring awareness to it, right? Within the people that are using this platform, but also two, gives anybody within his vicinity or anybody that's willing to travel out to his event, it gives them the opportunity to know about it, right? This is going to do a few things. This also allows us to connect in a more deeper way, right? You're going to be tied in, obviously, knowing not necessarily um, NFT community per se, but you guys know that these people funneling onto this page are people with smart wallets, right? And these people have some type of concept of crypto in that sense, some type of belief in it, because you're not going to obviously utilize that or even know what that is if you don't have any care for it, right? So, and then it also, on a deeper scale, allows us to connect with these individuals, on their own day-to-day basis, and what they do. So, it's a way that we think, if we can market this in the correct way, in the proper way, and have the backing by you guys as the community, that push this and bring this into different areas, different discords, different communities. This isn't just limited to Web3, right? We if you're an owner of a restaurant, if you have your own business, you're able to also share that and bring light to whatever events you might be running. Doesn't always have to be crypto related, like I'm saying, and that's what kind of the benefit is. So long term vision, right, is that our team is able to land um, bigger company and bigger live event projects, and their managers to log on and bring their community. So people that are looking for NFT NYC, people that might be running events at that same location, are all able to benefit off of you utilizing this map. Now, if you guys take a look, we on this platform we created the global atlas, right, which kind of shows you a more updated view of like people who have signed in. And then we also have, um, where the individual who signed in can create their own event, right? So currently we have one um, for Connect. Okay, this is a recreational paddle tournament with networking, kind of after the competition. This is ran by a Jirasan member who does this completely on his own time. This is some events that he's been doing for a few years. Now there's people on the map that if there's people that are in that same location that want to join that activity or people that want to support, they're able to know the location, know about it. And these are things that most people have a hard time finding. I think recently this kind of ideology or this thought behind this platform being beneficial was that it was actually serving a purpose that would help us. And live events and getting to these IRL scenarios was something that, I said prior was very important. And it's very, if you don't know what's happening or you don't know which specific event to search for, you're really never going to find the info. So if you're not in that, per se circle, um, or you're not actively searching for an event that is the one that you want to go to, and you're somebody that's more green, in knowledge when it comes to figuring out what's going on, it's very difficult to find all that information in one place. And the goal is to attract these larger events, attract these companies and these communities that find the benefit in being able to funnel certain events that they're interested in. So right now, this has kind of been a soft drop for us. We're obviously getting Jirasan on board. We put out a recent post previously, and what we're currently doing right now is just going through our list of builders within Jirasan who maybe own their own project, manage their own community, etc., and starting on that scale so that when we do utilize the main account to reach out to bigger projects, um, or bigger events, they're able to see that there is some type of benefit for them from a notoriety standpoint, because that's what those other companies care about is, who's going to be benefit from them putting this information on there. Is there any actual activity for it? So Mappexa for us is something that we want to focus on for those two reasons. One, to allow us the ability to gather and to utilize this data, right, where a location's happening, where the most interested locations that we can tell by users. So a lot of this data collection that we're able to do will help us in the future when we want to, really promote something. We want to do raise awareness of something that we're building, or we just want to just focus on raising brand awareness for Jirasan, simple as that. And hopefully this allows us to also build bridges with these individuals, and then long term, maybe we're able to get rewarded and reward our holders free tickets and things of that nature for these type of events. So this is something that I think it's not us reinventing the wheel, but it's us finding something that needs a little bit of adjustment and needs some catering to, and funneling this as something that makes everybody's life easier, for those of you that are actually looking to attend, or those people that are looking for events to highlight their own projects. So in the next 3 to 6 months, we expect ourselves to be able to partner up with some communities, add communities on here. As I said, we've already started reaching out to our actual holders for this. So this is something that I think long term, if we're able to accomplish what we want with this platform, will do us a lot of justice when it comes to that. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I haven't talked to Pons in a while. Actually, you know what's crazy is Pons was actually man, I think that was the best interview I've ever had. I shouldn't even say interview, just AMA. Pons was that was such a great convo. I think yeah, the Pons for sure, for sure. Would love if Plague added up. And actually Pons is probably the right guy too. That's got enough going on where he might know some events that he might be able to tag on there. They're setting up for regional chapters for pro holders. Yeah, and this is all free. Right now, it's all free. Um, obviously, right? Like we have another thought on, there's a certain plateau we have to get to for the next phase. But as of right now, everything is free. These teams that join now won't have to worry about paying for things later on, and more so, yeah, I won't even get into that because we have to get to a certain plateau, certain numbers to even get into that next train of thought. So I don't want to go into that. But yeah, plagues is for sure 100%. I mean, this isn't um I don't want to I don't want to make it seem like we want to be selective. We want everybody, everybody that wants to be aware, that wants to know where they should be looking at to travel this year for certain events. Like we want every single community. So, I just want that to be known. But yeah, we're whoever you guys might think is interested, or whoever you think is still active, like let's get them on and get them sent, send them my info, have them send me a DM, and we can obviously handle it from there. But this is also right something that um because we'd have the data as we kind of grow and scale this platform, we'll be able to also send our own. As I said, we'll have a booth. We'll be able to send holders, to these events. So um, again, this is not something where we're recreating the wheel. It's just us realizing that, dang, we don't actually have this type of platform that we found. So for the past 3 4 weeks, I've been digging and just trying to find events that we can put ourselves into, booths, getting, some team members to these events to, to partner and to build these bridges. And there's nowhere like that's direct. Like I'm in people's DMs asking them for basically everything under the sun other than their seed phrase. And I'm pretty sure it's a little creepy. I'm kidding on the creepy part, but you get what I'm saying. Like it's tough. And right now, I'm in the Quirkies community, and I feel bad. I DM'd their founder and was like, you know, what events are you heading to this year? Luckily, he actually had an event. And some people don't have anything at all, or don't reply, but he is doing something in New York, right? Like this is something that would be beneficial for them to add on to, onto the map, right? Especially New York. We definitely have some holders that are over here on the northeast side. So, um, but these are things that they were tough for us to find, and I can search up these projects or these events and their I was about to say Facebook and their Twitter accounts or whatever and their websites. But um here you have another feature, right? So somebody's holding an event, or a project's holding an event. We also added the ability to be able to join or attend that event, which then gives you direct contact with the host for that event, right? So you are planning to go to NFT NYC, we get them on the board, and you have a couple questions for the event. How much are the tickets? Where can we buy the tickets, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. This allows you that bridge of connection. So that's huge, right? That's invaluable. You can DM some of these accounts. You never get a response. You don't know where you have to go to be able to, get the proper information to set your flight up for the right day, to make sure that you're there at the right time, for whatever it is of interest that you're looking for. So this is that's also an additional layer that we added as well. I should have mentioned that earlier, but being able to communicate with these people. So, for us, for Jirasan, right, when you log on to this platform and you head over to, instead of going to Global Atlas, you choose Jirasan, right? You're able to then view who in the who on the map is part of that community, right? And then you're able to funnel it to if there's any events from that community that are happening, right? And then you're able to connect with the people that are going to that event. So um, it's a great way to connect. And this is not only beneficial, like I said, for Jirasan, but this is also like a benefit for all of Web3. I just personally haven't seen it. I'm pretty sure there's something similar somewhere. I just haven't found it, right? So, like I said, our heads are down. We're kind of just trying to build things that we feel are a necessity or things that we like. And shout out to Bullish, who brainstormed this idea for Jirasan.io's website, half a year ago. But the expansion on this and the idea around this, really did come from Bullish. And when he was kind of breaking it down to me, I was like, oh yeah, I definitely see the benefit in this, right? Because obviously, for the past few weeks, trying to get into these other events or trying to discover these other opportunities for us to get to, there is no main funnel, unless you got the crew that's telling you where to look or where they're going. You're really not gonna know until you see it on the timeline, right? So, we've seen this also with redacted and their plane flight, right? And so um, unless you were being reached out to, you had no idea. Okay, so until you see it on a timeline, right? So we don't want to be there. We want to be on in those scenarios, right? Maybe that I shouldn't use that as a reference. Probably pains some of us, but that is obviously a reference that I think everybody here will know. So Mappexa, if you're not on it, log on, connect your wallet. If you want to attach yourself to a certain community, you can do that. Obviously, we want to see more Jirasan on the map. It motivates us, right? Shows us from a support standpoint that you guys are listening. And yeah, get on a map, and I encourage you guys or whoever's listening to this to utilize this map, not just for Web3 events. And I think you guys will see this as we build up. There's there's other opportunities for companies too. So I'll leave that at that because I am working on getting IRL companies, on here, right? And this is also why I want to encourage, our Jirasan holders, because I know a lot of these guys also either run their own businesses, manage their own projects, and that's really what I want to start to see a flow of, as we go on throughout the year on this map is, maybe you're running a cycling event on Peloton. I don't know. Maybe you're running a school drive for your community, for their local, I don't know, elementary school. These are ways to not only raise awareness, but also gather extra support from people across the world that you really wouldn't know otherwise, or they wouldn't know about it otherwise. So this is going to be our focus for the next 12 months is to gather these companies. So I'll be outreaching and trying to get these projects and whoever manages these major events to get on here and add their events for awareness. Um, but yes, that was Mappexa. So we dropped that this week. That's the ideology behind it. We do have, kind of a blueprint if we can scale it to where we want it to be a profitable platform. It cost us time to build it. Didn't cost us any funds. Right. So that's good for us on the backside. You don't have to worry about treasury or anything like that. And that's what I'm saying. This is the perfect kind of creation that we want our devs to be building. Something useful, something that has a purpose, right? Something that can attract other communities, other projects, other event managers, etc. That raises awareness not only for Jirasan but also for other projects as well. So this is something that I'm very happy that Bullish was able to develop, and something that I think is really useful for us. So if you haven't please, Mappexa, that's Mappexa.tech. You can go ahead and log on and connect your wallet, drop your pin for whatever country you're in. The good thing is this does not track your exact location, so you do not have to worry about showing off the new car you just bought off the major gains from Jirasan's Alpha. You don't have to worry about us, knowing where you live, whatever the case is. So drop your pin. It's going to be in whatever relative, whatever state or country you're in, and get connected. Okay, jump in for everybody in here for Jirasan. Make sure you connect with the Jirasan community to verify it right in your wallet. You can then limit the maps to whatever communities you're in. So there's a couple communities that we are working on adding. I did inform for some of you guys who responded for the DMs. We will be adding those communities on there. I appreciate you guys reaching back out for that as well. So um, yeah, that kind of sums up what I wanted to go over for Mappexa, what our ideology was on it, what's the purpose for it. And then hopefully this gives you guys some calmness as far as also understanding that this is just what our builders do, right? Like this is the benefit of having guys that we have on our team. Again, this isn't reinventing the wheel. This is having people who can develop their ideas and put it into life, and something as simple as this in 6 months when this thing is filled out, um, and we have some benefits returning from it, meaning we're able to get into these events, we're able to um, yeah, I'm cool with that too, Flex. This will be beneficial, and we'll see the return on that. And if we can scale this to where we want it, it then with all the data and the information that we're able to gather, it's definitely a profitable platform. Um, People pay for that information, so that's also the benefit with us. And then these early communities that are joining, right, will have the benefit of not having to worry about that. They're already in the yellow book. If you guys remember what a yellow book is, congrats to you guys. You guys have lived long enough on this earth to know what a yellow book is. But that is the benefit of having the type of developers that we have. And Jirasan, we have lacked that, for the past few years. So, not saying we've never built anything cool. We just have always outsourced for these ideas, right? So, um, yeah, shout out our devs, shout out Bullish on this one. This was um, a great fit, I think, especially for what I would need now, and then also what I think would benefit Web3. So I'm hoping to push this as far as we can and see if we can scale this out to a profitable platform. But the opportunity for sure is there. All right, second thing I wanted to talk on for today. Obviously, like I said, these spaces be 25 to maybe 45 minutes, so don't kill me too much on here. If you guys do have any questions regarding anything that we're discussing as well, for sure, just drop that question in here. So the second thing that I wanted to chat on was we recently seen, good morning, group. You can come on up too, bro. You don't gotta be shy down there, bro. Um, the other thing that I wanted to also chit chat on was the content creators, right? Um, for sure, I see you guys supporting. I see the ones who are consistent with just dropping Jirasan in locations that normally people aren't getting talked about. We're not getting talked about. And first off, I want to say thank you for that. Right, I think it allows the ability for new conversation to start. It allows the opportunity for people who haven't heard about us since somebody that they knew was upset for whatever reason, who maybe hasn't heard about us since uh, you know, I don't know, something went extremely bad. Who knows, right? Like a lot of these relationships that we wouldn't have access to, that we wouldn't be able to converse or revisit, are able to stay alive, and that opportunity to be able to reconnect or, um, to attract new holders, it gets dwarfed with that scenario. So having guys or having holders and people who support Jirasan, um, really shed light on the good things that are happening really does not only just motivate myself and the crew, but also does benefit us, and it's not something that you can really put a price tag on, right? So it's not something about, oh my gosh, you know, we had this guy who was, posting on X, once a month for how negative this was. And because we addressed this, because we had some support from, a couple holders, it stopped. We were able to have the conversation, explain kind of what was going on. And, it's not something you can really put a price tag on. And it's not something that, everybody feels that they should do or they have to do. And it's not something that everybody has the courage to do either. So first, I want to say thank you to you guys. I definitely do notice that, and I'm open to discussing, something similar along the lines of like that champion program that we had prior, um, to really, make it beneficial for those of you guys that are actually still supporting like the legends that you guys are. So, um, like there's um there's different ideas that I've practiced in the past, and I don't want to make it like I don't want to make it to where it's like we're paying for post, right? So, what I do want to really pry on and what I do really want to figure out is, one, those of you guys that are listening to this, whether it's now, whether it's on YouTube later on when we post it up, if you still are supporting Jirasan publicly, and you still are, creating creating posts and dropping our names into these other communities to raise awareness and to attract people back home and to the layer. I am very open to having one-on-one discussions and seeing how we can help benefit you guys as creators. Right, like I said, we got a dev team that I don't think we've had the ability to say that we've had this type of skill currently that we had in the past, right? So if there's things that we can help out with, if there's useful tools that we can help get you guys access to, we want to be able to help out in that sense, right? We have Wing as well, who also can help with creating content and visuals and things in that sense. So we have the ability to help out. We have the ability to support. So I want that to be known as well, when you guys are, when we're leaving the space, it is that the team is here to support, to help out. We definitely do appreciate the support from you guys. We definitely appreciate, you guys sticking with us. And the comment that I read was from somebody who's obviously been around the block for a long time. That's why it caught my attention. And it wasn't a negative comment. It was just a normal conversation that I caught on X, and the comment was more around along the lines of, um, I hope Jirasan figures out how to support content creators a little bit better. And it was funny because I read it and I was like, damn, I really have actually gone left, right? Like we used to focus on that with the champion programs for Jirasan and that nature. And we ran a program for a year and a half, 2 years, paid program for those type of campaigns and those type of creators, and we have fallen off. So it's kind of like a reminder, and it's good to get those when you're on this side, because things just become very blurred, like your time, the date, like even like if you're not keeping tabs and you're not paying attention to what you're doing as a team, like 2 months will pass and you'll be like, holy crap, I didn't realize we've been stagnant. We've been talking about this idea, and nothing has come from it. Just 8 weeks of we're gonna do, and then all of a sudden you're 2 months in, and now you feel the pressure of having to complete this or having to do that. So, it is something for sure. I fell off the wagon with, and I just wanted to address it here and just let you guys know that we're at a good spot now. On the team side where it's a little bit more relaxed, right? Like we were focused prior to FOMO Cup, getting them and like to the wire. It was um not bad pressure, but it was a lot of pressure for us to get that finished. So, that time kind of was blurry. Hey, we need to just by this deadline. So everything when we were running that, we were really focused and kind of took our attention off of a lot of other things, and um having either content creation events within the Discord and things in that nature, we kind of fell off on, or I fell off on, I should say. So um, it was a good reminder when I read that comment. You know who you are if you wrote the comment. So I appreciate that. I want to say thank you. And I'm very open to discussing whether here, the layer, whatever, things that we can do to make it more beneficial and more purposeful for you guys too. So part of us being able to say that, right, is us creating and building platforms, or building on ideas that we feel are beneficial or useful for you guys, and pushing out those products. um, I'm not telling our guys to build something once a week. That's not kind of like what the flow is. But I have, like I said in the previous AMAs, that I have told the devs to be like, hey, you guys are the ones that can really put ideas to action and put it into life. And I've seen what these guys can do long enough that um, I'm comfortable with these guys bringing things that either they're building or that they're thinking about building, and finalizing or getting things in motion for the team to be able to utilize and leverage, right? So for Mappexa, right, we realized that reaching out and finding these IRL events was a tough thing. um, Groot and I realized when we were doing the partnerships for FOMO Cup that there's also still a disdain and a lack of trust with Jirasan from previous, failures, right? Um, we realized that, and this Mapbexa not only will allow us the ability to present something that is beneficial for everybody. It's free currently, but it does give us the opportunity to scale this into a profitable platform down the road if we're able to get it there. And it starts with really a strong support from our community. So again, if you haven't signed up, mappexa.tech, that's Mappexa.tech. Go ahead and log in. You can join onto the global atlas. If you don't know what an atlas is, just Google it, and then you can also join in with your communities. So we will be adding some more communities as we continue to kind of expand and grow on this platform. And I am reaching out to event managers and also IRL businesses. So you guys will see that I'm working on I'm working on an actual business IRL that I'm trying to work with from a branding standpoint for Jirasan, but also getting them on here. So you guys will see them on here at the end of August. But other than that, those are the two things that I wanted to touch on for today. Um, if you guys have any questions, for sure, feel free to reach out. Like I said, I don't see much in the comment section as far as like questions or concerns. Ramby, what's going on, boss? Flex, yes, appreciate you. Um, Rebirth is cool. Yeah, I mean, whoever. Like I said, Flex, I'm open to, whoever's down to listen. This platform really can do justice, and some people might not see the vision. But I'm telling you now, for the past few weeks, I've searched for real events, even NFT NYC. Unless somebody told me about that event, I wasn't bothering searching it up. I didn't know about it. So um this gives us the opportunity to build bridges with other communities, to allow other communities to have a focal point for themselves to communicate for events that they're doing. This also allows our holders to also bring awareness to things that they do. Like I said, I used CoinKong earlier as a reference. Every third week of the month, he does a food drive for his local community, right? So people that don't always have a plate of food every night. They're able to count on CoinKong and his business to run this food drive out in LA. So it's something that I want to get to, and it's something that I think is deserving enough to be, shown on this type of map, because I'm pretty sure other people would love to support that too. So this isn't just for NFT communities. This is for everything. There's plenty of communities that are built on not just NFTs, collectibles, physical fitness. In a sense, there's a community for everything, right? Your boys and girls clubs, your sporting events. I could go on and on. So um, this fits exactly what we need for right now, and it gives me a segue to communicate with some of these projects and some of these businesses that can leverage this for their own benefit. So, on that note, you guys, I want to say thank you guys for pulling up today to the Lair. As you guys know, every Sunday, 6 a.m. Eastern time, we run this in the Lair. It's open to all Jirasan holders. This AMA will be posted up later on YouTube. So if you guys do want to re-listen to the recording, you guys can share it. Share it when it's posted. That always helps out. Other than that, you guys, I want to say thank you guys. You guys are the fucking best community. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. There's just something with being a Jira over all the years, all the shit we've been through, all the success we've had, all the failures we've gone through, all the bullshit we've done had to hear from, left field. Like, you guys are still here, still supporting. And I can guarantee you guys, I've gone through enough enough communities. I've seen, enough within these different discords that I can say the fire that still burns within the Lair is something that I don't think anybody can fucking can get rid of. And I really do believe that. So I appreciate you guys still showing us support, still pulling up. When the space is dropped on YouTube, please just go ahead and share it. Other than that, you guys, I appreciate it. If you guys have any questions, want to tag me, just hit me up in the DMs or tag me in the Lair. Other than that, you guys, ciao. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.